If I think something's wrong and I ask for God to change it, will God regard my prayer? If I sin and minimize and hide it, God will ignore my prayer. If I keep on sinning and knowingly ignore it, God will ignore my prayer. If I confess it and call it what He calls it, God will regard my prayer. If I ignore my wife, don't try to understand her, God will ignore my prayer. If I study my wife, if I listen and respect her, God will regard my prayer. If I ask for dumb stuff just to suit myself, thank God He ignores my prayer. If I ask for something that He promised, God will regard my prayer. If I'm looking for His kingdom and His glory, God will regard my prayer. If I try to pray to God through anyone but Jesus, God will ignore my prayer. If I accept that Christ is my only mediator, God will regard my prayer. If I ask God's blessing but never share with others, God will ignore my prayer. If I freely share and depend on God's provision, God will regard my prayer. If my choices hurt you and I never try to make it right, God will ignore my prayer. If I make a real attempt at reconciliation, God will regard my prayer. If I trust He's there and believe that He will listen, God will regard my prayer.